All right.
Hello, listeners. My name is Charles Scott. The program is called Can We Talk? We come to you on a weekly basis. Today we're going to give you some information on real estate and some of the things that are happening within the local area and the national area. I'm here with my son, Charles Scott.
Jr. How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk Real Estate? Like I said before, if you missed the episode, don't worry about it. Go to Facebook. We have all the episodes there, and also YouTube. Also, see that phone number right there? You can give us a call and ask us any question about what we went over today.
Yeah, some of the things we've been talking about recently are probate, which affects real estate, grant programs, and the increasing amount of need for housing within the area. There's an increasing amount of need for housing, or I should say affordable housing within the area. And so the governor, the state, a lot of the different counties throughout the United States, not only that, are looking at affordable housing and trying to create more affordable housing. I did read an article today that the renting increases have started to subside. There's only so much money that you can charge people for rent. And one of the things I think that occurred is a lot of people came in, paid higher prices for properties, and then they went up on the rents. But it gets to a point of where a person can only pay so much. The average used to be 30% of whatever your monthly income was is the amount that you should pay for rent.
Key word should, but what am I seeing? 49, 51% people are paying their whole paychecks to the rent. We've been seeing that in the last few years.
So now what's happening is some of the things are starting to, go down. And that's a good thing, because what will happen is that if the rents go down, it'll also bring down slightly the cost of the homes, because it's all tied in together. When a mortgage lender gives you money to borrow for a property, they're also looking at what income, and the value is based upon the income that that property produces. So things are starting to change, and it's just like the stock market. Things go up, they come down, but they reach a happy medium.
But I also want to say, as people say, they always ask me, well, where do you see the market going? Is it going up? Is it going down? I can always say this: rent will continue to go up. As right now, we're getting what we call a plateau. It's evening out. But don't let that be a situation for you not to still prepare to buy a house. Still save up your money over the next couple of years, save those tax returns. There's going to be a point where the rent will start to raise again. And at that point, people always call me. They call me last minute and say, oh, my landlord is selling the property. I need to buy a property. I need to buy a house, a condo. And are you ready? They may not be ready, but if they start now, they will be ready.
Yeah, you just said something, the word condo. One of the things that we notice is that, there's an increasing demand for condos.
Yes.
Not everyone can afford a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house or the expenses of a house. So if you're out there, maybe today we'll talk a little bit about the condo market.
I was going to talk about that. Condos, very important.
There's a lot of things that goes in, a lot of things that go into buying a condo that most people are not aware of. And I'm dealing with that right now with several condo purchases and several condo sales. Condos are a little different than the single family in the sense that they all have basically an association.
Yes.
Which is an additional item that you have to take into consideration. When you're buying a single family house, you put an offer in, and you got a seller, and the seller lives there. The seller decides whether or not to accept your offer or not. But with the condo, you not only got to know another step, because the bank has to make sure that the condo is a condo that they want to loan money to.
Exactly. They want to make sure, basically, when you go to a condo, you notice you don't have to cut the grass. They shovel the snow. They take care of the outside, the grounds, I'll say. But some condos have more money saved than the other condo associations. And the banks take that into accordance when they put the loans out. They may say, if the tornado or some type of catastrophe happens, well, this condo association have the money to fix, to repair the damage on the outside of the building.
Yeah, one of the things coming up I was made aware of is that in the future, even though now condos have to have a certain amount of reserves, they're looking to increase the amount of reserves that the condo has to set aside in case of unforeseen events, such as maybe condos have major repairs, like maybe they have to do the driveway, they may have to do the roofs, they may have to replace the windows. So this is an expense that could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if that comes out of their regular savings or their treasury, it would deplete it. So they're going to have more money put aside to be able to take care of these different events when these events come up. So when you're looking to buy a condo, one of the things that we are always concerned about is the resale package. What that means is that when you buy a single family house, you get a title, you get a deed, and you own the house. Same thing happens with a condo, but there's that one extra step because you have rules and regulations that you have to abide by.
Yeah, I was going to say that you have the HOA. There's no way around it. The HOA fee is a separate fee besides your mortgage. That does go up because remember, they're paying for the grass being cut, the snow being shoveled, that's labor. Some HOAs have pools. Some have little clubhouses as you see the prices go up. So when looking for a condo, make sure you have an agent who is experienced, who's making sure they're taking notes of all this information to make sure your lender knows, are there any assessments? We'll talk about assessments, how sometimes there's a major repair that the HOA splits it between the units. So very important to have an experienced realtor who knows how to navigate condos also.
Yeah, if you're looking to buy a condo, then one of the things that you want to do, and this is what the real estate agent should do, is check ahead to see how solvent the association is. And even though they may not have an assessment, or an assessment is where they charge you extra money for things that they've already completed, you got to find out what are they going to be doing. You
Any future assessments.
Yeah, you may have a condo fee of $300, and then all of a sudden you move in and find out that they're going to be adding on another $100 to that because they plan to put a new roof on. So now everybody has to pay an extra $100. And if there's 100 units and it's going to cost, let's say, $100,000, then that's $1,000 each person has to pay. Then the other thing you want to find out is how long do you have to pay that extra amount?
Yes.
Is it a year? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? You know, how's it going to get split up? So these are things that you need to check ahead of time. If you're looking to buy a condo, not only what you're paying now, but is there going to be any future increases?
Exactly. Also remember the HOA, they make the rules for that property. For example, you may see people renting out units, but they can change that and future buyers will not be able to rent out. So you want to make sure if it's something that you want to do, your agent should be helping you also go through the research for this condo also.
Yeah, you just mentioned something. In the past, you buy a condo and you know, you can do just about what you want as far as renting it out. You buy the condo and then you decide to move. What a lot of people are doing is like, oh, well, why sell the condo? I'll just rent the condo out because I can get pretty decent rent. If your mortgage on the condo is, let's say, $800 a month, and you can rent it out for $2,000 a month, then that's extra money that you can use to help pay for your next house. So rather than sell the condo, you rent it out to someone. Well, that's okay, but what happened in the past and what's happened is a lot of the units that were owner-occupied automatically now become rentals.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't want to buy into a condo development. Let's say you have 200 units, and let's say 60 of them have renters. And you lose control because now the owners may not live, well, they don't live there. They live in Florida, Maine, California, and as long as the owners get the rent, they have no idea as to what the tenants are doing in the units.
For example, people may say, well, what's the problem? I've been in condos where blatantly says no pets. I get an elevator, guy has a dog. And I just ask him, I say, I know it already. Are pets allowed in this condo? He said, yeah, I got 2 dogs. But he's the renter renting it from the landlord who may have said, or he might have got the pets and not even asked the landlord. So very important that you look into that. Make sure renters versus owners. The bank's gonna also, depending on how many renters there are, may not finance the deal.
Exactly. What happens is that you have a lot of renters that are living there, and the renters, you know, invite all their friends over. So now you have a lot of people in and out of the building. Sometimes what we find is that a lot of these owners rent the condos out to college students.
Yes.
So now you have a lot of and the college students, you know, a lot of them don't want to stay on the dorm, so you got a 2-bedroom condo and you got 6 students living in
Bunk
it.
beds.
They throw the bunk beds in, and you know, they got a lot more freedom in a condo than they do on the college campus.
Exactly.
They might have a curfew at the college campus. They got to be in by a certain hour. They go stay in the condo. They can come home whenever they feel like it. Stay out all night long. So what you have is a condo where someone spent good money and they're living there, and they're, you know, trying to get their sleep because they got to go to work in the morning, and the college kids upstairs are having a party all night long.
Exactly.
So it creates a problem. So a lot of the condos now have restrictions
Yes.
where you can own the condo, but you cannot have renters. You can't rent it back out. You can own it.
Must be owner occupied.
Got to be owner occupied. Anybody buying a condo, it says in the bylaws that they are planning to stay there and use that as their primary residence. If they sell it, the new owner can only stay there and not rent it back out. Because you had a lot of investors that were buying condos. The investors figure, oh, wow, rather than buy a 3-family house, and then I got to worry about cutting the grass. I got to make about the repairs. I got to do all of the different maintenance. I'll just buy 3 condos and let the association take care of everything.
Exactly. We see that every day with those. But it's very important for those who have been looking for houses for a while, and you find that you just can't get offers in or getting overbid, give us a call. I'm working with a lot of people, a lot of young people who have pivoted from houses to condos. And I will say it's a different market, but we're getting some offers accepted. Give us a call right there if you have any questions.
Yeah, and a condo is a good buy. It's a good starter home. It doesn't cost as much as it would for a single family house. And for a lot of people today that are on the go, it's less maintenance, less upkeep, and you basically have a place that you can stay without having, especially if you don't have a lot of children, and you don't need all of the bother of cutting the grass and maintaining it. The only thing we're saying is that make sure you check out the association, check out the condo, make sure that it's financially secure before you go into buying a particular condo. And there's even luxury condos in gated communities where they have what they call pods. In other words, you know, and you have different types of condos where they not only take care of everything, but they got the swimming pool, they got the sauna, they got the exercise room, community room. The more things that come along with the condo, the higher the condo fee.
Higher the HOA fee will be.
Right.
Exactly.
So you just gotta, you know, you just gotta look into it to see exactly, what you're getting yourself into.
And make sure your lender, everyone explains to you how a condo works. As far as, remember that HOA fee, just as important as your mortgage. For example, if that HOA fee gets behind enough, the HOA can foreclose on you just like the bank. People don't realize it. They think that's just extra rent. Oh, they won't shovel my snow in my area or won't cut my grass. They'll take the unit from you.
They'll foreclose on you.
They'll foreclose on you.
So you have to pay, and the HOA is paid separately from the mortgage. It's not included into the mortgage. And when you're buying a condo, you have taxes, you have insurance, and you have HOA fee. So you have fees that go along, and you may have an assessment. So you have these fees that are associated with a condo when you're buying a condo.
I also want to mention for those watching, because I know people are watching who own condos, don't be afraid to give us a call and give us a call if you want to do a CMA, see how much your condo is worth in this market. Because we have people that call us thinking that they have to be caught up on their HOA fees before they sell the property. We can sell the property at closing. They handle that. They're going to make sure that the person buying your condo will have zero owed on the HOA fee, because they'll pick it out of your proceeds. But don't be afraid to give us a call if you're behind on HOA fees and thinking about selling.
Sure. So, for condo sellers or condo buyers, we do a lot of condos in different areas. So you can give us a call and we can look into that for you. Also, in the opposite of that, you have what they call co-ops.
Yes, people get those confused all the time.
Co-ops. We do sell and co-ops, and we work with buyers that are buying co-ops. The difference in a co-op And a condo is the condo, you get a deed and you own the condo. With a co-op, you get a certificate saying that you have a share.
You have a share.
In other words, if there's 100 co-ops and they got 100 owners or 100 people that live there because they don't own it, they all get a share and they all participate into the co-op.
Yes.
That's why they call it co-op. Everybody cooperates with each other. And a lot of times what will happen is that people think that they actually own the co-op. You don't own the co-op.
Don't.
You have, it's almost like a rental in a sense, but yet you have equity that builds up in the co-op. You can sell the co-op you could sell your share to someone else. You could sell the co-op gives you a right to stay there. It's usually less expensive than a condo. And the difference is that you got to go one step further when you buy a co-op.
Yes.
You have to be approved by the co-op
about that?
association. So even though the bank gives you the money, or you may have the cash,
I'm going to compare it to this. It's kind of similar to an apartment. They're not just looking at financials and work history. They may look at personal records. You know, where are you moving from? Where are you moving to? You know, who's living with you? The co-ops can go, I'll say, an extra mile when approving people. And you can have the best credit in the world. They can still find a reason.
they can still reject you. A co-op, because it doesn't cost a tremendous amount of money, they're concerned about a lot of people just moving in, paying cash, and now here we are. They want to, they have more screening.
Yes.
They definitely are all owner occupied. They don't want you buying you know, like a condo. You can buy the condo and you live there and your friends can come over or you can invite people over. As long as you are the primary resident, that's okay. With a co-op, it's different. You can't buy it and then have people come in and spend a long time, extended period of 6 months with you or a year with you, or move your cousin or your nephew in, because with a co-op, everybody is in that close-knit community. They see each other.
A co-op is more close-knit than, I'll say, a condo association. These people live on the premises. You see them every day. I'll say they have personalities. They have past grievances with other members. So I'll say co-ops, give us a call. We know how to navigate it. I mean, not the simplest thing, but give us a call on co-ops.
Before you can buy a co-op, you usually have an interview. It's like a job interview. When you buy a condo, hey, you go to the bank approves you, you put an offer in, the seller signs the paperwork, you sign the paperwork, the lawyer does the closing, and you move in. When you're buying a co-op, they have a board of directors and they meet with you and they question you. Why are you buying this unit? How many people are going to live with you? You know, they want to check your job. They want to check your credit. Some of them have income requirements. You have to make a certain amount of money before you can show. They want to make sure you can afford the co-op charges. They want to keep it so that it's more like a little exclusive. In other words, they want to control who's moving into the co-op. And a co-op, I've actually seen co-ops evict people.
Oh yeah, they can evict you.
They can, if you don't follow the rules, then, because remember, they retain the ownership. They own the unit.
Yeah, you don't own the physical property. It's like you own a share in a company saying, I have a right to live here, but that right is a privilege in them sense, because they can break the rules. You can easily be kicked out.
Some co-ops have different rules, whereas depending upon how they were established years and years ago, if you go to sell the unit, you can only sell it for a certain percentage over what you paid for it, because they want to keep it affordable. You might go to sell it. Let's say you bought the unit 25 years ago for $20,000, and now you want to sell it for $100,000. Well, they may say, well, you can't do that. You can only sell it for a certain percentage over what you paid for it, because that way, in the deed, it's set up so they got government money to build it, and that government money states that people buying or selling have to keep it affordable for the next generation of people.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna
there's rules.
I was gonna say we come across that with houses too, but yeah,
Yeah, houses
co-ops, they do have in the deed sometimes saying that you must sell to someone who is also like more like a workforce housing or low income or a certain income. So that's very important. Your realtor do that research with you before you list the property, and if someone puts a deposit down, time wasted.
So there's a big difference between co-ops and condos. So when you're looking to buy either one, you got to look into it. And I'd say the best thing to do is to realize what rules and regulations that you are going to adhere to. You know, a lot of them, you know, do not allow pets, period. Or even with condos, if a condo association allows a pet, usually they go by how much the pet weighs.
Yes.
Is they want little small poodles, not the big pit bull. They don't want the German Shepherd. They go by, you know, how much is it? You might have a little cat. You know, some people have emotional animals.
Yep.
But they go by, you know, different rules and regulations. Another reason for all of this too is, like, you imagine if you got 300 units and everybody's got pets.
Oh, man.
You know, it's hard to get people to get along. Imagine getting the pets to get
pets,
along.
the animals,
they
oh,
all start
man.
barking. They have a little language of their own.
That'll be something.
You're trying to sleep at night, and all of the pets decide that they got a beef with each other, and they all start barking and fighting and howling.
Exactly.
You walking your little doggy down the trail, and the other dog comes flying out of the doorway and then gets into a fight with your dog. So you got to be really careful, you know, with pets. They even go as far as to, you know, what pets you can have. Canaries.
Oh yeah, there's a list of breeds and stuff.
You know, exotic animals. Remember when we had a condo and the guy had
lizards.
He had lizards.
Yep.
He had all
But how about he was the renter? Did the owner know about all them lizards?
No.
Nope.
No. You know, we were selling the unit for the owner, and we went in there, and there's all these lizards crawling around.
Who knows if the association knew about that either?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness.
You know, we had all the lizards in there, and I mean, that lizard grew. He looked like
iguanas and stuff.
looked like an alligator to me.
But we want to say is just condos, very, very good subject. You want to have a realtor that knows what they're doing. I mean, if anyone's out there with an FHA approval and they're looking at condos, give me a call. I have something to tell you. You'll see it. Give us a call.
Yeah, definitely.
Give us a call. I know a few people out there looking for FHA approved condos.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, give
And
us a
there's
call.
very few, but if he's right, if you have a condo, and it's, what do you mean by FHA approved is that years ago, the government would go throughout and take all of the condos and check them out, check out the books, the records, and the management.
Yep.
And if it fit their needs, they would put their stamp of approval on it.
FHA approved.
That means if the bank was loaning money, if it had that stamp of approval, there was a lot of things that were not needed in the mortgage, because it was it's a lot easier to sell a condo if the government has said it's on their approved list, or they give their recommendations. And that actually increases the value of it, because a lot of people want to do that. The other way is that banks, whenever they put money or finance a condo, they want to check out the financials. They want to know how much money have they put aside, who's paying their fee, who's not paying their fee, any improvements that you plan on doing. All of these things. The bank may say, okay, you're approved to buy this condo, but we're not loaning you money for that one because their records are all messed up and they don't have enough money in there.
Exactly.
So you got to be really careful. You know, a lot of this started about 4 or 5 years ago. I remember in Florida where remember the condo collapse.
Well, that's what it was. Yeah, that Miami, that one that collapsed, and now they're making it stricter for some of these condos, because some of these condos have no reserves or they're not managed right, and some of these condos are failing building inspections and they're not fixing it. And that's a danger to the inhabitants of the condo.
Well, you just said something there too. A lot of the banks are requiring that condo associations have an inspection, a building inspector, go through it and say that their structure is okay. Because the other thing you got to do is get insurance on it. Insurance companies are going to require that it's a sound development. So there's a lot of things, you know, we talked a lot today, but we put the comparison of condos versus co-ops. And if you're looking for either one, give us a call.
Give us a call. We pick the phone up.
And we can look into the background of the condo or the co-op. And if you have a condo or co-op and you want to move up, you want to retire, you maybe want to move to another area, give us a call, because we can tell you all of the ins and outs as to some of the things that you have to do, and even call your association for you and give you some of the details that you probably aren't even aware of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people surprised. I call them up and say, how much is your HOA fee? He said, I don't know. I just pay it every month. I send it over, and then I call their, HOA, and they realize it's gone up. They've been paying $230. It's gone up to $250. So always give us a call. We'll do a CMA. We'll call the association, let you know what's going on, and future assessments coming up. People may not realize how much these condos have gone up in value.
And again, in closing, we always remind everybody, we handle a lot of probate. If
Yes.
someone's out there and they have a property, what we're doing right now is we've identified a lot of properties where people have that they aren't even aware that they've inherited. A lot of people in different areas, different cities, different states have property that they not even aware that they own. And they may not own it yet, but they are due to inherit that
Exactly.
property because someone owned it and left it to them by probate. So if you find out that you got a property out there, or if you're looking to sell a property, give us a call. I have a lot of people call me sometimes and they say, Mr. Scott, I live in North Carolina, I live in South Carolina. There's a property in Connecticut that my aunt used to own. Can you look into that and see whatever happened to that property? And we're able to look into it and say, hey, you better get in touch with the city, because the city's getting ready to auction that property off, because taxes haven't been paid in 10 years on that property. They go, oh, wow. And I say, that's your property. You're the one that's going to inherit that property.
Exactly.
And if you don't do anything and they can't contact you, they're going to auction the property and it's going to be gone and you get zero. So if you have a situation like that, give us a call.
Give us a call.
We can do some research, look into the property for you, and let you know what's happening with that property.
Exactly.
Or if you have a reverse mortgage. A lot of people out there have reverse mortgages.
Reverse mortgages.
There's the number there.
Call us right there.
Call us and we can look into that for you. So there's a lot of things that we can do. We can help you out and sort of give you an idea so that you can take advantage of the equity.
All those CMAs and all that help, how much does that cost?
We don't charge you anything.
$0.
We
Give us a
don't
call.
we don't charge you any money for any of those services.
Yes, give us
So
a
it's
call
a free
right there.
service. You get an idea to find out what's going on. And we, do a report up. I just did one for a lady in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I did a market analysis on the property and everything. And then what we do is we get the email address, we send it all down, and then whatever she decides to do, that's, whatever
it's
she...
your information to keep. Like you said, it's a free service that we
It's a
provide.
free service that we provide.
And like I said, you're doing it for 40 years. I've been doing this for 18 years. We give you a good estimate what it would sell for in this market.
So hopefully we're giving you a lot of information. Share it with your neighbors. Have them go on YouTube, look at some of our
One of
other
the previous
segments.
episodes, and give us a call. Don't be afraid to
Give us
call
a
us that
call.
number.
Till next week, God bless.
Amen.